Hi, and welcome to this month's Plate It Up Kentucky Proud Recipe segment. My name is Kelly Burgess, and I'm the Family Consumer Sciences Extension Agent with the University of Kentucky Cooperative Extension Service here in Allen County. Today we are making a delicious recipe called blue cheese potato salad. Now, I definitely feel like this is a different combination that you don't always hear of. Most people in this part of the country enjoy potato salad, but we typically think of it as more of a summertime picnic food. But in reality, our potatoes are really in season more this time of year. So even though potatoes might have been ready in the fall, they store really well. So they're a great staple to use in the wintertime months when we don't have as much fresh produce available. So as you can see, these are new potatoes. They're golden new potatoes. So this is what I've chosen to use for our recipe today for a variety of reasons that I'll talk about. But one reason I really love these potatoes is that you don't even have to peel them. So that just makes life so much easier. That makes this recipe super quick and easy. So I'll just go ahead and show. We want to just slice these up a little bit. And you can see in my bowl here, I've already sliced up most of them. But we want to keep all of the pieces in roughly a uniform size. So I would say somewhere between ½ inch to an inch. Like I said, it's most important just to make sure that they're all relatively the same. That way they all cook at the same rate. So we'll just go ahead and slice up our potatoes here. They're not all exactly the same size, so you might be able to just slice them in quarters, or you might have to slice them a little bit smaller. So there is our 3 pounds of new potatoes. I'll go over the rest of our ingredients today. We have a ½ cup of light blue cheese dressing, a ½ cup of blue cheese crumbles. We have 8 ounces of non-fat plain Greek yogurt, a ½ cup of green onions sliced, and then we have a teaspoon of salt and a ½ teaspoon of black pepper. So those are our ingredients that we're working with today. So I've already got my pot on. Normally you would go ahead and put your potatoes into a pot of water, and then we're just going to cook these for about 7 to 12 minutes until they are soft. So it will vary a little bit depending on how big you sliced up your potatoes. If you did large slices, it might take closer to that 12-minute mark. If you did very small slices, they might be done as soon as 7 minutes. So in addition to the potatoes in the pot, we're adding our teaspoon of salt, and that'll just help it with the boiling. And simply we're going to just stir that just a little bit. And then we'll just put the lid on and wait for about 10 minutes and check them. I have this fork out because this is my favorite way to check to see if potatoes are done. If you can easily stick your fork in, you know that they are soft enough to use in your salad. So for the sake of time today in this recipe segment, I have already cooked part of our batch of potatoes. So we're going to go ahead and just have those ready to add to our bowl and our mixture. So first, what we're going to do is mix together all of our ingredients that compose the sauce or the dressing part of the recipe. So this is our ½ cup of light blue cheese dressing. And the reason why we're using the light dressing is because blue cheese does tend to be one of those higher in fat dressings. So this is a little bit more of a heart-healthy option to use the low-fat blue cheese. We're also using the non-fat plain Greek yogurt, which really adds to that delicious flavor profile without adding so much of the heavier things like maybe sour cream that might be more typical to use in a potato salad recipe. We have our ½ cup of blue cheese crumbles, so that this will give us a nice flavor and texture. We also have green onions, and this is our ½ cup, so I've gone ahead and sliced these up. All right, so we're going to just mix, whoops, I almost forgot our pepper. It blended right in with the countertop. This is a ½ teaspoon of black pepper, and we're just going to go ahead and mix that in with the rest of our ingredients. So this is kind of the sauce for our recipe here, and it's a very simple mixture to just go ahead and have put together. So now that that's put together, I wanted to talk a little bit more about our potatoes, since this is our highlight produce for the recipe. New potatoes are considered a waxy potato, which means that they have a higher moisture content. So you might say, well, higher moisture compared to what? So compared to our starchier potatoes, like our russet potatoes or the big baking potatoes, those are more of a dry potato that have more starch. And so we know when we make a baked potato, it tends to crumble and it doesn't really hold its shape after it's cooked. Whereas these potatoes, you can see, even though they're already cooked, they hold their shape really well. So that's what makes them ideal to put in a salad such as this. You can store these for an extended period of time. The best temperature to store your potatoes is at about 45 degrees Fahrenheit. So you don't want to put them in the refrigerator. That's a little bit too cold. If you do put them in the refrigerator, that starch, our complex carbohydrates that are in our potatoes are more likely to turn into a sugar. So that will kind of alter the flavor a little bit and just not make for as good of a potato. So we want to keep them in a cool place that's well ventilated, but not quite as cool as the refrigerator. You also want to keep them out of direct sunlight. I'm sure everyone has seen potatoes that have sprouted before. So if you have potatoes that have stuck around a little bit too long, you're more likely to see them sprout if they're exposed to the direct sunlight. So the best thing to do is to put them in a dark place that, like I said, is well ventilated and cool. So that's just a little bit of information about potatoes. These ones, like I said, are the golden potatoes, but the new potatoes also come in blue, they come in red, they come in different colors, or you might even see them called fingerling potatoes. Any of those would work really well in this recipe. So if you want a more colorful salad, feel free to go with that colored medley of new potatoes. So simple as that. All we're going to do is just add these in to our bowl, and we'll just mix until our sauce has covered our potatoes. So it's okay if they get, broken up a little bit in this process, because our goal is to have a nice uniform potato salad that's well coated. So while this would be a great recipe to have in the summertime as part of a picnic, you might want to store it away and bring it out again at that point. This is also a good recipe that you can have in the wintertime. So when we're putting together meals, sometimes it's nice to have a little bit of a contrast of hot foods and cold foods, warm food, just different. You might not want everything to be all the same. So if you're cooking a steak or a roast, consider using this as a side item with a salad maybe, instead of some of your other more traditional winter sides. It would also be good with, a baked chicken breast or any kind of thing, kind of like that. So this recipe is super quick and easy. As you can see, we are finished. The only thing that would take just a little bit longer is waiting for our potatoes to cook. But like I said, about 10 minutes and you're good to go. One other thing I will tell you is that this is best served cold. So you will, after you have it mixed together, you'll want to put it in your refrigerator for a couple of hours to get it cooled down, and then feel free to just go ahead and serve along with your favorite meal. So if you are interested in getting this recipe, you can receive it a few different ways. You can email barry.hyatt@nctc.com. You can also search Plated Up Kentucky Proud in your internet search bar, or find us on Facebook by searching Plated Up Kentucky Proud for this recipe and many others. So we hope you enjoy this and try it at home, and we'll see you next time on our monthly recipe segment.